welcome to Live with Sujay. And we're all the way live and in living color. And we just thank you for sharing this time with us. We are always so excited, ignited, and delighted to have our series with Black women leaders and to have the Black women leaders in studio with us. So today we have a powerful, she's a force to be reckoned with. She's fierce, she's a force. Oh, I am just so excited to welcome Annette Azan. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. I'm thrilled to be here.
We're thrilled to have you. It took a little while for us to get together, but the
Yes.
introductions from others who've been on this show, Karen and others, were like, "You've got to meet Annette," and I'm like, "Yes, we do." So welcome.
Thank you. I'm thrilled to be here and I'm feeling your energy.
Hey, yeah, I'm like the Energizer Bunny without batteries. So tell me, you are the owner, CEO, founder of Nudie. So tell me, what is Nudie? Tell me what you're doing.
So Nudie is a boobwear company, a boobwear brand
Mm,
that it's for women who hate bras but don't want to go braless.
mm.
And everybody's heard it. Women have felt it, men have heard it for a long, long time. We're creating a completely new space between bra and going braless.
I
Okay.
love it. I love it because they say it's an 8 hour bra, but after an hour, I'm done. So I don't get my 8 hours out of it. And I think at a certain stage, you just want to be comfortable. Now, you came into developing this company because you were going to a wedding and needed something between a bra and
Yes.
without being.
Actually, it was my own wedding.
Was it? Are you
It was
serious?
my own
Oh
wedding.
my gosh! Well,
It's
tell
the
me
best.
about that.
I like
Yes.
it. It's like the Spanx story, but no, actually got married out here on the East End, my second wedding, and I had a very unusual dress. It was super sheer. It was cut down to the waist on the side and in the back. And I was redesigning the dress, and after frustrating like weeks on end, I said, I wonder if I can make something to just give me that kind of a thin veil between myself and my guest,
Yes,
so I could dance.
exactly. Yes.
And I went to Sag Harbor, and I'm not a designer, but this is just about desperation and being creative. And I hand sewed the first nudie out of a fabric never used for this part of the body. And I put it on my body, and I swear to you, I looked around the room and I said, I cannot believe that nobody has come up with this.
Oh my
Because this
goodness.
was like a different feeling. It
Yes.
was, I sensed something was there. I didn't feel the product. But when I looked at myself in the mirror, it looked like it was naturally me. Like I had nothing on,
Yes.
but it was just natural and comfortable.
And supportive and comfortable.
Yeah, but natural support, not like
Yeah,
hyped up.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
So it's your wedding, you create this product. You're a Fashion Institute of Technology grad, first of all, right?
yes, yes.
And so what did you major in?
I majored in business, so marketing and business. So my whole career has been helping bigger designers right, grow their own businesses, like Nora Kamali and Donna Karen. I helped her
Yes.
build Urban Zen,
Yes, yes.
initially out here and then also in the city. And so, what was interesting is that I think that had I been a designer, I probably would not have come up with Nudie because from a designer's mind, like there was a, I didn't know what I didn't know, right?
Right.
That it would be so difficult to actually make this manufacturable.
Okay.
So I was just pie in the sky, like, oh my God, this is really needed in retail. And
Oh, wow.
it's kind of like the Spanx story. It's like women need that first layer in order to wear clothes, right?
Yes, exactly.
And what I found was the first layer of the bottom half of our body that was taken care of, but the first layer at the top half,
No one was
there
taking
was
care of
nobody
it.
was taking care of it in
Wow.
a different way.
So were you at fashion when Dr. Joyce Brown was president? Or before
No,
that?
before
Okay.
that.
Okay.
Before that,
She was in the New York
Yes.
Coalition of 100 Black Women with us. So we remember the day she was called it. That's okay.
Yeah.
But so tell us about the manufacturability of this.
Yeah.
I mean, so you designed this, it works for you on your wedding
So
day.
yes,
What's
worked
the
for
journey?
me. Well, and then I made two other prototypes, basically saying like, oh, there were all these incredible dresses that had all these low backs,
Yes.
high front, low back that I couldn't wear. Could I make something for that? So I made three different prototypes: a strapless, a backless, and then the one that you see now, which was originally a halter, which then we made into a regular shape. But I tried to get those hand-sewed nudies
Yes.
on a machine with a local seamstress, and she couldn't get it quite right because there was so much nuance with working with this fabric that had never been worked on like
Okay,
that. So
okay.
I put those three original prototypes in my safe.
Okay.
While I kind of looked around and shopped around and said, oh, does anybody know anybody, in the lingerie industry? And it took me 5 years to find my original partner, who had a whole career in the development of bras and activewear.
Wow.
She looked at my product. She said, I've never seen anything like this.
Oh
This
my
really
goodness.
has relevance. And that was back in 2016.
Wow.
We
Okay.
came together, and then we started to, number one, get a patent on it.
Yeah, I was going to say patent and trademark,
Okay,
right?
really important. And that happened in a year and a half. And number two, to shop around to try to find a factory that would not think we were completely crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's not made in a bra factory. We
Right.
had to come up with ways to manufacture, and that took 4 years.
Wow. Our producer ran
Yeah.
the video. I'm going to ask you to run it again because it's so important to see this
Yes.
product and how easy it flows on a body.
Yeah.
So you get a patent on it. There it is there. It's flowing.
Yeah, so this is nudie in action. So what was interesting is that during those 12 years and over 500 women in development, right? So we realized like, wow, this first product has over 12 ways of wearing. And then you think, well, why would you even want to wear it 12 ways? Designers do not design clothing for bras,
Yes.
right? So women see great clothing and they go, well, what am I going to wear underneath? So it really has, it has different ways of wearing for activities.
Yes, yes.
So like for yoga, I always cross my straps like this.
Okay.
So when
okay.
you're in downward dog, you're in inversions, everything stays in place, you
I
can
love
breathe
it.
and move.
Yes.
And then I love the one shoulder.
Yes. When you have the
Right.
one shoulder outfits.
You
of
can do it
course.
on either side. So, it's a real lifestyle product.
For any size. Now, can you make one for me?
So we started with 3 core sizes
Okay.
originally because, that's what you do when you're developing something new. Those 3 core nudie sizes, which we use a 2 lettering system,
Okay.
SS, MM, and LL, fit 25 bra sizes.
Really?
We have now expanded our size range. We have 8 different nudie sizes, and we're up to 45 bra sizes.
Oh my goodness. Well, I think I'll be in one of those 45. And I
Yeah,
definitely want to wear one.
and
Yes.
it's development. It's all about development and testing and development and testing because, again, this is not a cut and sew product. So everything we come out with, now we have 7 different systems,
Yes, yes.
not just the T system, which is our core. A lot of development goes around it. And each of those systems also has a patent associated with them as well.
So let's talk about the patent and how important that is as a
Yeah.
businesswoman because people are trying to come up with ideas all the time. But talk to us about the importance of a patent.
Yes, I knew it was so important. I know this industry, right? It's a knockoff industry. People are not, these big companies are not, they're not coming up with new ideas. They just basically steal others.
Yeah, yeah.
So the first thing we did was patent it, and we got a utility patent, and we also, over the years, added CPIs. They're called like continuation in parts. So as we develop,
Yes.
you add other aspects to the patent, so it
Okay.
keeps covering it.
Okay.
So we have one strong utility patent that basically will cover a lot of the different styles from a utility aspect. But then before we launched our T system, we also got a design patent on the 8 major ways of wearing.
Okay.
So that if anybody tried to then copy us with, oh, I'm just going to come out with the one shoulder or this
Right.
and that, that's also covered.
That's awesome. And many colors or neutral and black or
Patents are never about color. So the design patent is clearly, does that look like a nudie?
Right.
Basically from the, consumer's eye, then, you are infringing on a patent.
yeah. So this is a show about Black women leaders.
Yeah.
So you're a founder, you're a designer, a CEO. Talk to us about the journey as a Black woman leader.
I hate to say it, but I never thought that was part of my journey. I just thought I'm a business person, right?
Yes.
Isn't that what we all want? Like, can we just get there already?
Right.
Right?
But
I
what's
didn't
the
think
reality?
I'm a woman and now I'm a Black woman and maybe that's why. So the reality is, I go pie in the sky to all the big VC firms, right? With my, patents in hand and, this new branding. This is really fresh and something new. Everybody's interested in the meeting and then I'm getting a lot of no's.
Oh my goodness.
Getting a lot of no's. Without any true reason, right?
Just to know.
Just a no. I've learned so much along the way, and you have to just like pick yourself back up. Like you have to have such fire.
Yes, yes.
Okay. to withstand that, because I've been doing this now for 7 years, like on the ground building this company.
A fire that's not extinguishable.
Yes.
Yeah,
By
because-
somebody's no.
By somebody's now. Oh,
Right.
that's a book title. We need to do
Yeah.
a book on that.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
one of the reasons we formed the Global Black Women's Chamber of Commerce, who's one of the sponsors for this, is because there were so many Black women business owners who have received the no.
Yeah.
And so what we're saying is together we're going to get a yes.
Yes.
Some yeses,
Yes.
plural. So talk to us about, so you get the no. How do you process? You're designing, you're trying to manufacture, you're trying to market. You also have to emotionally deal with that no. So
Yes.
how do you deal
Oh,
with it?
always, and always like being scrappy, like, you know, you had to have a side hustle for a long time,
Yes.
you know, that helped me, you know, make money while I built my company. You know, I'm lucky because I have a very deep kind of spiritual continence
Yes.
to my life. So I know that my vision is my vision, right? Somebody's vision, they may not understand it.
Yes.
It could be the slightest thing. You're like, they can't connect with me, right?
Right.
So then therefore it's a no. You know, I'm older.
Right.
It could be anything. They don't like my hairstyle, whatever it is. I don't come from Ivy League.
Right.
You know, a lot of the startup founders, I am a different startup founder,
Good for you.
and I am unique.
Yeah.
So, but my spiritual basis of I know what I know, I feel it.
Exactly.
And that fire has never dimmed for the 7 years. It's how I get up every morning. Now I get to lead a team and how I get my foot going forward. And I think as a black women have had to do that for years.
For years. Every single person who's come on this show talks about that spiritual undergirding. However they interpret it or define it, but that was what keeps you together,
Yes.
from not becoming unglued. So, yeah,
Totally.
that's totally it. So you're leading a team. Talk to us about leadership as a black woman and business owner.
So I have been in a lot of management positions from a very young age. So
Okay.
I was used to that. But what was really wonderful was that I was leading teams for other people's companies. Now I
Yes.
got to lead, and it was kind of interesting stories there because I was always pro-employee and would get myself, you know, as a manager, get myself
Yes.
in trouble with the higher ups.
Yes.
So now I get to be pro-employee of my own team.
I love it. I love it.
Because I believe your company is built on not this, on this.
Yes,
Right? It's
yes.
on the people on the ground. It's the salespeople out there. You know,
Cooperatively and
Yes.
collaboratively.
Yeah.
They've got to work in
Yes.
cohorts with
Yes,
you.
exactly.
Yes.
And I, as a CEO, am really there to give them the tools to do their job you know, to the fullest.
Yes.
And make the, you know, and that's what I hopefully successfully done, or, you know, it's always trial and error, but I love my team.
That's awesome.
Everybody has a passion for
Yes.
what we're doing. Like a real, you know, there's an ethos to this brand,
Yes.
which is unlike a lot of other brands, which is, we're basically calling BS in the bra industry.
Yes. I love it. I love
Because
it.
they were built to reshape our bodies.
Right. Right.
And what does that have to say? That says that we're not all right in our natural
In
shape.
our natural shape. Exactly. Exactly.
So what we're seeing now is, like, beautifully, is like, if women want to have natural hair, they want to have natural hair.
Exactly.
They want their hair gray. They want their hair gray. If they want their butts, like, what? They
short,
can have
long,
it.
whatever. Exactly.
This is the day. So why can't we just allow this to be in its natural form?
Yes.
We can now with Nudie.
I
So that's
love
what
it.
we're doing.
So Nudie, spell Nudie for us because
Nuudii. So it's used for the
yes, yes,
system. And the reason we called it a system, which I did from the very beginning, is that number one, it's highly technical,
right,
right? So it takes it back to technical, but also systems are there to help make our life easier.
exactly. Not
And that's what Nudie
complicated.
is. Yeah.
So where can people find you? Is it nudie.com? Or how do people
Nudisystem.com. So
Nudie-
we're sold on nudisystem.com, our own e-commerce site, but we're also sold in Nordstrom.
Oh, I love
We're
it.
sold in a handful of boutiques, but next year there's going to be a lot more places.
Okay. Well, I have a Nordstrom card, so I'm going to look for you as
Yes,
well,
yeah.
definitely, and go to your website as
Yeah.
well. So you're talking about really what they say on the street is you feel your employees.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
it's not big I, little you, but we feel each other.
Yes.
And so we talked about the fire that you don't want to go out, about feeling your employees. I introduced you as a force. And so tell us about, and you talked about your faith and what keeps you undergirded. if I put together a formula, A plus B plus C equals success, what's your A, your B, and your C?
I think the A is a true inner understanding. I like in the book Blink.
Mm.
I just like when Malcolm Gladwell says there's a thin slicing, like you
Yes.
cut to the core. Like you have to have those tools to know what that core is, right?
Yes.
So you feel it and it gets to that end goal.
Yes.
So if you thin slice it, at the beginning, I knew internally this is bigger than me even.
Yes. Yes.
So I think that's number one.
Okay.
Number two, you've got to have that tenacity, and sometimes that tenacity is through like a spiritual connection.
Yes. Yes.
Or it's through like a vision, or it could be through different practices in your day. So the tenacity is the other one. And I think the third would be to have a support system. Because
totally
you can't,
agree.
like your groups, you
Yes.
can't do it alone.
Cannot do it
Yeah,
alone.
you need
If
somebody to pick you up off the floor.
when your fire is kind of just
Yes.
going like this, you're like, oh, I need some more fuel here. But you talked about a dream, and someone I believe wrote, like, if your dream is not bigger than you are, then it's too small.
Yes,
So
yes.
you have to be able to go for it, really to go for it. What do you do when you're not working?
Oh, okay. So I try to take walks on the beach. Luckily, I'm on the East End.
Yes.
I love to cook, so I do a lot of dinner parties. Like I
Okay.
like intimacy amongst friends
Yes.
and gathering. I love art. It's one of my
Really?
passions.
Okay.
So I try to take that in. But
Is there an artist that you like a lot? And is it
No.
performing or visual art?
it's visual arts.
Okay.
Yeah. And I also love to dance because I used to be a dancer. And
I can see a
Very-
little misty up in you.
yeah.
What
I
was your?
wish.
But
Not
dance
really.
Dance is kind of glide. Like as we came into the studio, dance is kind of glide, and the way you cross your legs, which is beautiful. So, what was your specialty?
So I went to the high school of performing arts for dance. So we
Did
had
you?
to do lots of different dance. But then I ended up studying fashion. I actually wanted to coordinate fashion shows. I didn't think I was good enough to be a dancer. That's a road you have to really feel it.
Yeah,
Like you
yeah.
do in the startup world.
Yes.
So, but I still dance when I can. Like I took African dance for years. I did samba on the beach, and I taught
Yes.
myself samba.
Yes, yes. I love it. I love it. Let's talk about that support system.
Yeah.
That it doesn't have to only be Black women. So we know people, Deb Bollinger on one side, and we were introduced by Karen Clement. Talk about the support system, like who is important to have around you and in your world, whether it's physically or just they're there on a phone call. Or Zoom.
It's interesting with the support system. I have some really dear friends I've known who have actually even worked for me for 30 odd years, and they said, you're always. I always look up to you because whatever you say, you make happen. And I would say that be careful who you tap in on your support system because you don't want naysayers. There are those people out there. There are not believers.
Yes.
They're not the ones that are creating things that are new.
Right.
Get your support system of people who will support your dream.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so that would be number one, whether it's Black women or not even men, it could be, men, but have the people around who are going to support your dream.
Yes,
in,
yes.
in lots of different ways, whether it can be, sometimes it's financially, sometimes it's just, with just listening sometimes.
Right. So that emotional support. Let me
Yes.
cry
Yeah.
if I need to.
And then,
You know?
in the Black community, it could be, we're walking down a different road. So
Yes.
I get it. Right.
Exactly.
And then that coming together there.
And it also could be seasonal. Some people are in your life for a season,
Okay.
and then they can't go where
Yes.
you're going because they can't see what you're seeing.
Yeah, that's
have-
a great point.
Yeah, and it's okay. But I think Bishop T.D. Jakes says, know when their role in your play is over.
Oh, I love
they
that.
don't have a front row seat
Yeah.
any longer.
Yeah.
They may have to be in the balcony, but they served their purpose, and that's okay. They were your friend, your boo, whatever.
Beautiful, actually.
You like that?
Yes, I love that. I'm going to remember that. It's so true.
Okay, yeah, I think that's really important because we're always growing, and people sometimes grow differently. Marriages, some of us are number 1, number 2, number 3, because we were together for a point. Doesn't mean we're no longer in love, but we just grew differently, and we had to kind of go a different way, and that's important too. Ooh, that was good.
Love
Give me
that.
credit when you talk about
Yes,
that.
yes, I love that.
So, do you write it all? Do you have any?
Yeah, I went through times where I was journaling, and it was interesting. I was journaling. I'm right-handed. I was journaling with my left hand, and I would journal
Interesting.
things like old ways of thinking that I wanted to let go. So, it's
Nice.
there's a philosophy of like when you can't have different thoughts doing the same thing the same way.
That's right. That's right.
So that's a really powerful tool.
Yes, it
So I
is.
was like at the beginning, I couldn't even hold a pencil or the pen with my left hand. And then after months of journaling, it was like, wow, I can do this, right? And you start
I
to kind of
love
break
it.
through those old ways of thinking. So there's a lot of psychology that goes into,
Yes.
building a company or just actually living a greater life.
Yes, exactly. You're living your
Yes.
best life, you
Yes.
know?
Yeah.
There was this couple who were restaurant owners, and they just wrote a book about life on the beach, and they wanted to live in Antigua. And so they one day packed up and they lived in Antigua, started the restaurant there, and they sent the Antiguans to their restaurant in Vermont who had never seen snow, never been in the cold, but they were like, we built the life we want. And that's a great thing about living now. You don't have to just work with get the gold watch as some of our parents and grandparents did, and then they die. But you can have several careers that work for you.
Yeah, I do think that Black women have a wonderful. I mean, the thing is, because sometimes we were not giving the promotions, etc., that we have resources
Yes.
and creativity that come out of wanting our own thing.
Yes,
Right.
yes,
That is very special,
yes.
and I'm now seeing it all around me, and it's a joy.
So there's a mindset though to being your own boss, to being your own designer CEO. Some call it the millionaire mindset. When did you know I've helped these wonderful designers, but now it's time for me to help and build my own? What was that moment like?
Well, I like to say Nudie found me.
Okay.
I don't think like, oh, I mean, it was circumstantial, right, that I needed this product, but I really feel like it found me and
love
I
it.
was that person to do this. Because what this is, just hate to say it, but I'm not going to dumb myself down. What this is like when Coco Chanel gave us pants
Yes, yes.
and we got to have a whole new world. When Nudie makes this simple in our life, we have bigger things on our plate as women. We have the
Yes.
whole world to save right now. We need living with boobs simple
Yes, yes,
and easy and comfortable.
definitely.
And that's kind of the high ethos of the company is
Yes.
that's what we want to do here. So, do I think it was a mindset? I actually think it was a gift.
I love it. I love it. So do you remember there was a song, I Second That Emotion?
Yes, yes, yes.
I second that
Yeah,
emotion.
yeah.
So I was with this DA up in outside of Boston, and she said there are 2 days that are important: the day you were born and the day you know what you were born to do. So you were born for Nudie.
Yes. And I have been supporting other people's dreams my entire life. Other people's dreams. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. I can actually support my own
I
now.
love it.
So I kind of feel like that was rehearsal.
Exactly.
Right?
Getting you ready for this
Just
moment.
getting ready. Like every day was getting ready for this moment. And I'm ready for this.
Yeah, you are. I
Yeah.
feel it with you too. So there's passion, but businesses also are filling a void, which you're doing.
Yes.
But then there's also profit.
Yes.
So talk to us about that. That you're not just working to just be working.
No, this is a profit company. I mean, we were talking about generational wealth.
Yes,
Super important.
it is.
My parents were business people. They weren't the best.
Right,
They
right.
weren't like, so I didn't get that generational wealth, even though they, had, great businesses. But I want to have the generational wealth for my two daughters who actually work with me.
That's awesome.
And so profits are really important. I also have investors.
Yes.
I have angel investors. I was part of an accelerator group, which I'm really proud of, XRC Labs, because they support a lot of people of color and a lot of
Yes.
women.
Yes.
And I feel that responsibility every day to, have them make profit. So this
Yes.
is a profit business. It has been challenging, I have to say, this last year with changes in advertising. Advertising costs are 600% more than last year.
Because of COVID?
No, because of the iOS 14
Okay.
changed they allowed people to opt out of being tracked. So therefore, advertisers could no longer track to find your customer. And so it became inefficient. So Facebook advertising is inefficient, whereas before we found our customers easily and inexpensively. So we are finding ways to build community
Yes, yes.
organically. TikTok is one of them. I've had to
I love it.
I've had to put my face forward on TikTok because what we found, I had a commercial done by one of our funders, our inventory funders. It's a company called Clearco, and they ran like for a month. They ran these ads, mostly in Canada, some in the U.S., with my founder story.
Oh.
It brought in so much business. So what I realized was what we have over the big brands
Yes.
is a founder behind it, right?
Yes.
Or a small team that they can be really front and forward. So our strategy now to build Organic is for me, and thank you for this opportunity.
Oh, I'm so
To
glad.
be more front and forward
Yes,
in just
yes.
telling what we're really doing here and that we're real people. Because, you know, yes, we have Kim Kardashian or we have
Right.
Rihanna behind their brands, but what other brands do we really know the people that power it?
Exactly, and by Black women leaders.
Yes,
So I'm,
yeah.
I'm glad to have you, but I'm glad for the opportunity for this series with LTV as well. Because if we don't tell our stories, who does?
Yes.
If we don't find our founders and CEOs, who will? So you just blessed me being here as well.
Yeah,
So I'm
I
really glad
feel
to.
so fortunate.
Well, you're fortunate, I'm fortunate, and keep that fire alive. We've been talking with Annette Azan from Nudie Systems, and I want you to look her up, Nuudi.
Two eyes.
I, two eyes, okay, and two U's, because some
Yep.
of us are double eyes, and it's okay. System, plural or singular?
System,
Dot,
no plural.
okay, we got it, Nudie System. And you've been enjoying this wonderful opportunity for this conversation. I speak English, I'm a communications major, but I'm trying to get this out. We've been talking with Annette Azan, I'm Dr. Sujay, and you've been on Live with Sujay. We thank you for sharing this time with us. It's awesome, this Black Women Leaders series. Join us again, look for us. Thank you for your time.